What are your initial thoughts of what's to come in this finals matchup between the Warriors and the Celtics?
Well, I think this is going to be a great matchup for the finals. I think the way that I see it, you got one of the best defenses in the NBA with the Boston Celtics going up against one of the best offenses in the NBA with the Golden State Warriors. And this is a scenario where I kind of see it as like the old school versus the new school. What I mean by old school, it's specifically the Warriors. The Warriors for the last 7 to 8 years have been phenomenal. The last 8 years, they've been to six NBA finals, led by the likes of Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson. Used to be Kevin Durant just a couple years ago, but now you could integrate one of the new school kids with Jordan Poole into the fold. And Golden State just finds himself back in the situation where they've kind of been in the last couple years. And I do think that their veteran leadership is going to be something of note going into this series just because they know the pressure that comes along with these NBA Finals matchups. They've been in it time and time again. I mean, they've won three NBA Finals as this run that they've been on. Granted, they have lost some NBA Finals. The last one that they lost was against the Toronto Raptors in the 2018, I think it was 2018,
20
2019.
2019.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, it's been a minute since we've seen Golden State in an NBA Finals, but they just find a way to, get back into the situation and compete for another title. And then when I kick it over to Boston, this is Boston's first NBA Finals appearance since 2008 with the likes of, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, Rajon Rondo, and Kevin Garnett. So it's been a
No,
long
that
time.
was no 2010 when they lost to the
Oh,
Lakers.
but that was the last time that they won
Oh well,
specifically.
yeah. Well, you said been to. That's why I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, I screwed up the year, but what I meant
No,
to
you're
say
good.
was when they won. That's what I meant to say. So it's been a minute since Boston's actually won an NBA Finals. Um, but you got a whole new group coming into the fold with Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart, Al Horford. These guys have really been through it together as a unit the last couple years. They've gone through their growing pains with Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown, but relatively speaking, since Jason got into the league a couple years ago when he was a rookie, he has really taken leaps and bounds in his career. He is really one of the focal pieces for the Boston Celtics moving forward. Jalen Brown has become one of the best two-way players in the game. He's great on the offensive side of the ball, and you could say that he's probably a better defender in some aspects than what he presents on the offensive side, but he's a great player for Boston moving forward. Marcus Smart, the way that I see it with him, he's the energizer bunny for that team. He's the guy that just brings that energy nonstop. And he can knock down shots in big moments for Boston moving forward. I thought that in that game seven against the Heat this past weekend, he was phenomenal in stretches. Not just because of his shooting ability, but sometimes just getting rebounds, knocking down crucial free throws. He's just at the right place at the right time, and he's going to be crucial for Boston moving forward. This is a great matchup, the way that I see it. You got two coaches, two great coaches going at it. You got Ime Udoka with the Celtics. This is his first year as a head coach, and he's already gotten this Celtics team into a finals position. I mean, that was something that Brad Stevens was trying for years to get this team to. Fell a little bit short in that endeavor, but Ime Udoka has taken this team to the next step by getting them to the finals. And really, what is there to say about Steve Kerr? I mean, like I said, been the six finals in 8 years. It's the first one in a couple years, but just the one thing that I like about Steve Kerr as a head coach is that he just knows this team like nobody's business. Like just the thing that he focuses on, especially on the offensive side of the ball, is that there's so much ball movement and there's so much player movement. It leaves his opposing defense is just exhausted by how much Golden State moves and rotates their players around to get guys open looks. And I imagine that's something that Golden State's going to try to exploit in this upcoming finals matchup. All in all, this is going to be a great finals. I can't wait till um, this series takes place, and I'll let Kevin take it from here.
Well, I mean, Kyle said pretty much every point that I was going to bring up. Obviously, I mentioned it as well in mine when you talk about one of the better defenses in the league going up against one of the better offenses. I do understand what Kyle was going for in terms of the old versus new school. Obviously, Golden State's been here before, and this is Boston's first time with their new group in a while. But I do want to highlight something that people don't maybe not know. This is Jason Tatum's fifth Game 7 in his career. He's 4-1. That's absolutely insane. What that tells me is he likes the big moments. Like I said earlier with that Kobe Bryant, not comparison, but that Kobe Bryant appreciation, should I say? The kid shines brightest when the lights are put on him. The kid is just ready for the adversity. He is ready for the big stage, and I love that about him because we've said the same thing with Game Six Clay, um, Steph Curry when he gets hot, obviously, and when they had KD in the finals, he loved showing up and out dueling LeBron James. Both of these teams have players that can dynamically and drastically alter a series. So I don't think that this is going to shy away from anything offensively. I think it's going to be the team that locks up the best. I think it's going to be the team with the better defense that makes the adjustments and limits turnovers is going to be the team that wins. Um, you have the dynamic duo between Jalen and Jason. You have the Splash Brothers with obviously Steph and Clay. You have the defensive anchors and the defensive player of the year Marcus Smart, who's going to obviously be chasing around the Splash Brothers pretty much all game, and then you have Draymond Green, the two-time Defensive Player of the Year for Golden State. They match up very well. I think that this is going to be a really, really good series. Looney versus Horford on the boards. Obviously, you have Draymond Green versus Robert Williams or whoever he ends up deciding to guard, whether that be Jason or chasing around whoever. Um, Clay Thompson is going to be running around chasing Jalen off of screens as well, and then Steph versus Marcus. Once again, it's you can't really script a better matchup, and I'm really 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 looking forward to it. My biggest question mark for Boston is going to be can Jalen and Jason limit the turnovers? The two of them have combined for double digit turnovers pretty much throughout this entire series against Miami, and then for Golden State. You live and die by the three. They showed it multiple times throughout the postseason. There are games where they just go absolutely ice cold, and I mean like frozen solid. When Clay and Steph are off to slow starts, that usually means the offense kind of supersedes behind them, and they don't really do too well because no one else is getting into a rhythm. I will say that Andrew Wiggins is going to have to play an incredible factor in this series because just like in the Dallas series, he's going to get a lot of open looks because of his teammates having that threat to get doubled. And Andrew is going to have to hit a lot of open shots. So there's a lot of pressure right now currently on both teams. Marcus Smart is going to be that X factor for me because Marcus Smart had 3 open looks to close out the game that could have sealed it for Boston in the fourth quarter. And I mean, 3 pretty solid looks that he front bricked. And again, like Kyle alluded to, 3 of 10 from the 3 point line, 8 of 22 from the field. There's no reason why a player like Marcus should be taking 10 threes unless they're literally all open. And if that's the case, 30%, not going to cut it against the Golden State Warriors, who are one of the best teams in this league when it comes to hitting 3 point shots. So, again, man, I'm really excited to see what both teams have in store. I'm super excited to see what Jalen and Jason are able to do. And then, of course, to see if Steph and Clay can go and capture their fourth ring. But overall, man, these NBA finals are going to be a good one.